Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, esteemed committee members, and fellow witnesses. I would like to begin my statement by acknowledging that I speak to you today from the territory of the Mi'kmaq peoples, which now covers much of Eastern Canada and is overseen by the Peace and Friendship Treaties. My name is Hannah Ehler, and I am the Interim Chair of the Canadian Alliance of Student Associations, or CASA. I am also the Vice President of External Affairs at the Mount Allison Students' Union, and I am in my fourth year of a self-designed Bachelor of Arts program in International Community Planning and minoring in French and Environmental Studies. CASA is a national, nonpartisan, non-for-profit advocacy organization that represents students across colleges, polytechnics, and universities from coast to coast to coast. Through a formal partnership with the Quebec Students' Union, we are a trusted and evidence-informed voice that represents 364,000 post-secondary students across Canada. I would like to thank the committee for inviting us to speak today in support of Bill S-209 and on the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic has had on post-secondary students across the country. I would like to first pay respects to the over 36,000 Canadians and millions around the world who have unnecessarily lost their lives due to COVID-19. These past 24 months have been extremely challenging for all of us, especially our elders, our most vulnerable, our healthcare systems and workers, our businesses, and of course, students. We speak to you today in support of a new annual day of observance that will allow Canadians to reflect, remember, and raise awareness about the pandemic's lingering impacts. Post-secondary students have felt the myriad of effects of COVID-19 particularly intensely. According to a survey that CASA conducted in collaboration with Abacus Data, nearly 2/3 of post-secondary students in Canada reported having an unhealthy work-life balance during the pandemic. 56% said that COVID-19 negatively impacted their learning, and half of all students said that it also interrupted their summer and post-graduation employment opportunities. Mental health is perhaps the biggest area of concern for post-secondary students, with impacts likely to continue long after the immediate impact of the virus has already passed. Our data tells us that an astounding 84% of students experienced new mental health issues or had existing issues exacerbated due to the pandemic. Further to that, 53% of students reported feeling intense feelings of despair, and 71% said that they were overwhelmed, many blaming the lack of in-person interaction, campus life, and peer support as a main reason for their mental health difficulties. Pandemic-induced stress is also manifesting itself in the form of financial and affordability concerns. 6 in 10 students tell us that COVID-19 has made affording post-secondary education more difficult. Only 11% of students say the pandemic has had no effect on their personal finances. While these short-term impacts may now be receding, many continue to worry about their financial future. Additionally, post-secondary students have also had to cope with a virtual learning environment. 75% that the overall quality of digital learning was not on par with the in-person equivalent. What is more, over half of students said that they experienced serious connectivity issues throughout the school year, and upwards of 45% reported they did not have the necessary technology to complete their studies. All in all, the challenges faced by a generation of Canada's youth over the past 24 months have been immense, and they will leave a lasting legacy that requires consistent attention and reflection. That is why I appear before you today, on behalf of CASA in support of Bill S-209. If passed, this bill would provide Canadians with an annual day of commemoration that can be used to remember those we lost, while also reflecting on the broader impacts of the pandemic on Canadian society. Future pandemic observance days could be used to raise awareness about mental health and the importance of social interaction. They could be used to celebrate togetherness over isolation, and they could be used to highlight the lingering effects of the pandemic to ensure we are investing in areas like healthcare and mental health supports, both of which were shown to be lacking during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is not an experience that we will easily forget for any of us, and it will require sustained commemoration. To that end, Bill S-209 is welcomed by CASA. With that, I'd like to thank the committee for asking us to appear, and I look forward to any questions you may have.